Welcome, boys and girls. We are learning how to multiply three factors in Chapter 9, Lesson 3. Our learning intention is I'm learning how to group factors to make solving multiplication problems easier. So let's take a look at what pages we're going to be doing today. We will be working on pages, let me shrink this down so you can see it all in one screen, pages 513, 514, and 515. Let's get started. So on page 513, we are learning to multiply three factors. The way you group factors when you multiply does not change the product, and I'm going to show you how that works. First, we are going to build it. So we're going to find 2 times 3 times 3. So we're going to use counters to model 2 times 3 times 3. It's really read 2 groups of 3 times. So you'll see that you have 3 boxes here. You've got this box, that's 1. You've got this box, that's 2. And this box is 3. That's the 3 times. This one right here. Inside the boxes, you have 2 rectangles. You have this rectangle and this rectangle. That's 2 in that box. 1, 2 rectangles in this box. 2 rectangles in this box. And 2 rectangles in this box. So you have 3 groups of 2, so that's this 2 right here. In each box, you have 3 yellow dots, and that's what we're going to be adding to our diagram right now. So I'm going to wish I hadn't picked yellow because yellow doesn't show up super well. So I'm going to pick what I hope is the darkest yellow. So I'm going to put 3 dots in my other green boxes, 3 yellow dots. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now I have yellow dots in each of my boxes. So now I'm going to label them or name them down below my pictures. So I have 2 times 3 in the first red box. In the second red box, I have 2 groups of 3. And in the third box, I have 2 groups of 3. So then you're going to multiply the factors inside the parentheses first. So if I were doing that on this diagram, it would be 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6. But because I have it here in parentheses, I only need to write it one time. So 2 times 3 is 6. Let me highlight so you know where I'm looking. Okay, so 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, then I'm going to continue with the times 3. I'm not changing that just yet. So we kind of call that like bringing down. You bring down the 3 because you're keeping it the same. And then 6 times 3 is 18. So I know that 2 groups of 3 times 3 is 18. I guess I didn't need to pick a new marker because it's the same color. So that's how that works. Okay, let's look at the next page. Group the same factors another way. So I have 2 times 3 groups of 3. So I'm going to color code them again so you can see it. You can do this if it helps you. So I have 2 times, Okay, then I have 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now all I need to add is the other 3. So I'm going to add those 3s into each of the boxes. So I'm going to pick a color for that. I'm going to go with this purpley blue. Now it's purpley purple. Okay, so now I'm going to put 3 in each of my 3 yellow boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one right here looks like an angry eyeball. This one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm coloring with my fingers, so they're not perfect. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we drew the models. Now we're going to label them. So the first red box is 3 times 3. And the second red box is 3 times 3. So I have 2 times, let me get my highlighter so you can see where I'm looking. I'm going to make it a little thicker. Okay, and I think I'll go with pink so it sticks out. So I have 2, wow, that's not quite thick enough. Looks like I'm crossing it out. There we go. Okay, so I have 2 times, these are going to stay the same in the top problem and the bottom problem. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply 3 times 3, which is 9. Whoa, let's try writing that with a pencil or a pen. So this one is 3, or 9. Sorry, I got all distracted by what I was writing with and didn't pay attention. 3 times 3 is 9. Now, the way that I can see that is by counting my dots. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in each of the red boxes. Now, I'm going to multiply 2 times 9, and if I count up all the purple dots, I will have 18 of them. So 2 times 3 groups of 2 equals 18. Either way you group the factors, the product is 18. Okay, so let's stop and reflect. Compare the models from each activity. How are they similar and how are they different? So we're going to put this into a sentence after we look at the 2 models. So I'm going to make the page smaller so you can see both pages at once. Okay? So think about how this picture here, oops, I was still in move the screen mode. Okay, how this picture here is the same and different from this picture here. Okay, so I'm looking at it and I see they both equal 18, but the first one I grouped 2 times 3 and then multiplied all of it by 3. And the second time I multiplied 3 by 3, 3 times 3, and then I multiplied that by 2. So I'm going to type an answer in here, and I just made more marks than I needed. Okay, because I wasn't in stretch the screen mode. Okay, so both models, so I'm going to use words from my question. Both models equal 18. But this is how I'm going to, the word both tells me that they are the same. The word but tells me I'm going to talk about how they are different. But I think it was the first one. I can't squish it while I'm typing. But the first one did 2 times 3 first, and the second one did 3 times 3 first. Okay, so there we go. That's the answer for that one. Were the products different in the two examples? Now remember that the products are the answers to the multiplication problems. And so looking back at it, let me get rid of this. Were the products different? So let's take a look. The product in this one was 18. Oops, there we go. 18. And, whoa, my screen's doing something here. Okay, and the product in this one was also, yikes, 18. So were the products different in the examples? No. It says explain, so I know I need to say comma because and tell why. So I'm going to do that. No, oops, inside. No, comma, because it doesn't matter how you group factors, you will get the same product. So that answers that question. Were the products different in the two examples? No. Explain. Because it doesn't matter how you group factors, you will get the same product. How is grouping factors helpful when multiplying 3 or more factors? Okay, so let's talk about that. How is that helpful? Well, it makes the multiplication easier because you can group friendly numbers together. You can make sure that your last problem that you have to do has one friendly number. I personally like to multiply my little numbers first, so I have 2 decent sized numbers instead of having one giant one and a small one. So it depends on how you like to group them, but it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you multiply correctly. So how is grouping factors helpful when multiplying 3 or more factors? Grouping factors, we're going to, just a minute. Okay. So I'm going to use words for my question. Grouping factors is helpful when multiplying 3 or more factors because it makes multiplying easier. So let me copy that. Grouping factors is helpful. I'm going to type it down here and then put it in the right place. It's the magic of technology. Couldn't do this with a pencil. Okay. Grouping factors is helpful when multiplying 3 or more factors because sometimes when your question begins with how, you need comma because. Not always. Like if it says, how do you make an origami swan? You're not going to say, I make an origami swan because you're going to get the steps. So sometimes it's the steps. Sometimes they want you to say comma because. It depends on the question. So you have to be really familiar with how to answer questions. That's why we are making you write so many things so you know how to respond to questions like that. So grouping factors is helpful in multiplying 3 or more factors because it makes multiplying easier. Okay. And I'm going to make this a little smaller. I wonder if I can do it without highlighting. Nope. No can do. Has this weird thing with highlighting when you change the size of the letters. It unhighlights it, but it still changes the size. That's pretty good. That's decent. Yeah, that works. Grouping factors is helpful in multiplying 3 or more factors because it makes multiplying easier. Okay, so now let's move on to your independent practice. But before we do that, I'm going to put an Easter egg in here because my class gets extra credit if they watch the video and find the Easter egg. And I want you to, up by the word try it, I want you to write or type the word factor. It's like the secret word of the day. Oops. Factor. If you're not in my class, it doesn't matter. You don't have to write that. It'll confuse your teacher. Okay, so now we're going to switch over to the independent practice page, and we're going to practice it. So if you are not in my class and your teacher's already given you directions, you don't need these directions, you may stop the video now. If you're in my class, you need to continue to watch because I'm going to give you some very important directions. Okay, I want you guys, and I'm going to show you on number 4 how I expect you to do it. I want you to write underneath how you grouped how you multiplied, because you have to do the parentheses first. And let me show you what I mean. I know you're going to be able to copy this, but it's not going to help you with your answer because I'm not going to give you the product. So in number 4, it's 3 times 2 groups of 2. Always do what's in the parentheses first. So I know 2 times 2 is 4. So underneath, I'm going to write 4, and then I'm going to bring my 3 times down. And then from there, I'm going to find my product. Okay. Likewise, down here on number 7, it's 5 groups of 1 times 3. So I'm going to put 5 times 1 is 5, and then bring down my times 3. I'm going to be grading for that. So you get a point for what's on the blue line, and you get a point for writing the number sentence correctly underneath. Okay, so hopefully everyone paid attention to this, or people are going to have some wrong answers because I know some people aren't watching the videos. Okay, so let's group the factors another way, then find each product. So this should have been first in my opinion, but anyway, oh no, I see what they did. They regrouped them. Okay, so you add 3 groups of 2 times 4 is the same as, then they changed it to 3 times 2 groups of, and you just need to bring that missing number over. Okay, so let me show you how this works. 3 times 2, we're on number 13. 3 groups of 2 times 4 is the same as 3 times 2 groups of 4. Okay, so you just bring that missing number over to right there, then you finish the calculation. Let me show you again on number 14. 2 groups of 2 times 4 is the same as 2 times blank times blank. Just bring it from over here. So I'm going to bring the 2 over, and I'm going to bring the 4 over. You don't need to draw the arrows if you don't want to. And then you're going to do the math. Okay? So that is how you do that independent practice page 515. All right, so good luck, guys. If you have any questions, you can go back and rewatch the video for hints. And I look forward to seeing you do your best on this.